Okay.
Action.
Yeah, I'm just gonna explain this lesson like I would in front of my class, or just like to you guys. So, it's a guided reading lesson, the same as everyone had to do. It's a 3-day lesson. I'm focusing on day 2 of the lesson. So day 1 would consist of giving background information. Let me start by saying it's on grade level, it's kindergarten, and it goes over the book titled What I Like. My Common Core curriculum standard is integration of knowledge and ideas with prompting and support. Describe the relationship between illustration in the text, illustrations and the text in which they appear. What person, place, thing, or idea in the text and illustration depicts. The state curriculum is 1D3A. It's general reading processes. The topic is students will use a variety of strategies and opportunities to understand word meaning and to increase vocabulary. The indicator is understand, acquire, and use new vocabulary, and the objective is use text and illustrations to identify meaning of unknown words. I'm not exactly happy with how the state curriculum and the Common Core standard matched up. There is another Common Core standard. I think it's I'm using KRL 7. I think KRL 5 might work better, but I wanted to talk to Chris about that. So anyway, on day 1, my objective and focus question would be, how can pictures help you determine the meaning of an unknown word? So on day 1, I would begin with a discussion about whether any of the children have ever read a book just by looking at the pictures. We would go over prior knowledge, which would be going over the high frequency words that the kids would be using in the text. I would have them do an activity where we use puzzle cards, and each puzzle card would have a word and then a picture that matches up with it. I do have those at home, so and I would spread those out on the table with just the word part of them, and then have the kids sort the words that they, take turns like we did with the cheetah exercise, and sort the words into words that they do know and words that they don't know. And then I would bring out the picture puzzle pieces and have them match up with the words, the unknown words, and that could show them that looking at the picture can help them to identify the meaning of words, unknown words. I'll model the activity, and then the students and I will work in a group, and then I'll pair the students off and they can work with their own puzzle pieces. And then we'll meet back and discuss what they had learned, introduce the text that the students will be reading in the next lesson, which is the lesson that I wrote. So again, the focus question is, how can pictures help you to determine the meaning of unknown words? Prior knowledge, I would revisit the high frequency words and the lesson activity that the students participated in the previous day, and then we would briefly discuss what the students had learned. The key words and phrases, the high frequency words are I, like, and to, T-O. The story words are, the story words, which are just the words that might be unfamiliar to the kids, are play, bees, birds, dig, flowers, outside, slide, swing, and trees. The materials that you're going to need are the book What I Like, a copy for each student, students' writing journals, pencils and crayons, and story word note cards, or flip cards. So, procedures. First, I'll meet with the students at the guiding reading table. Together, students and I will have a picture walk of my copy of the text. I'll revisit the focus question and discuss the purpose of our lesson, which is the students are following along in their copies of the text, and they should be looking at the illustrations to see if it can help them understand the meaning of the unknown words. Then I'm going to read the text out loud as the students follow along in their copies. The students are going to point to each word in the text as I read it, and then when I get to these unknown words, I'm going to stop reading it all together and have them point to the unknown word with one of their pointer fingers, and then to the picture and the other above it with their other index finger, and then they're going to work through trying to decode that word. And then after that's finished, together, the students and I are going to read from our copies of the text, and the students are going to continue to use their pointer fingers to read word by word, and then when we get to the unknown word, use both again to point to the word, unknown word, and the picture. And then I'm going to clear the table of the copies and lay out the story word note cards. And it's just going to be note cards with the unknown words on them. And the students and I are going to try to read them together. And then I'm going to have a copy of the text that the story words are covered up. And I'm going to randomly select students to read out loud a specific page and find the missing word from the story word note cards that are laid out on the table. So closure is going to be revisit the focus question and have the students discuss what they have learned today and what the importance and usefulness is of the learned skill. The assessment, which I'm not too excited about, one is just observing the students as they read the text and discuss at closure, just looking for a general understanding of the concept. And then number two is going to be, I'm going to use flip cards that contain unknown words and accompanying pictures. And just with the students there, I'm just going to kind of have them flip up each card, and then they can tell me what that word means just by looking at the picture above, maybe 2 rounds of that. I couldn't think of a way to have an exit ticket though for this, so maybe after this you guys can help me with that. The differentiation is just the students will be assigned easier pages to individually read and match the missing word, and easier assessment activity cards, the flip cards. And then the advanced students are going to have the harder ones. And I'm going to previously set up the equity sticks and flip cards so that the children view the selection as random, but they won't be. Or it won't be. And then day 3, we're just going to briefly revisit and discuss what the students remember about the previous lesson. Then the students are going to be asked to read from their copies of the book What I Like, that has no pictures, only text. And we're going to discuss that and see if they could remember what the words were and whether it was harder or whether it was easier if they had the pictures. And then the students are going to reread their original copies of the text, and then they should be able to get those words again. And then I'm just going to introduce a new book containing new unfamiliar words and have the students read it in pairs using the pictures to help them decode those words. And then closure and assessment. And that's it.
Cut.
Cut.